So when we talk about applying for a Schengen visa, it has to be one of the most sought after visas in the world, because this visa gives you access to over 26 countries in Europe, Europe mainland, and of course, with this single visa, you can visit all of these 26 countries with just one single application. So the Schengen visa is literally the gateway to visit Europe. And in this video, I'll be talking about how you can apply for your Schengen visa irrespective of where you live across the world, and of course, how to get the application approved. So let's get right into it. So when you're looking to visit the Schengen areas, there are certain countries that you can visit. So we'll start with Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. Now, a lot of these countries, but the thing is this: if you're looking to visit the Schengen area, a lot of times you won't need to apply to most of these countries, because ideally you should only apply to the country you are looking to spend the most time in, or the country you're going to be entering the Schengen area through. So for most people, it's always those countries in like Central Europe, like Germany, France, Italy, and the very popular ones. Now, unlike maybe other countries like Hungary, maybe even Latvia, they don't even have embassies everywhere. So if you want to get a Schengen visa, you want to apply to a popular country, because with this, they obviously have like an easier process. And if you live in a place like, let's say, Nigeria, India, the most popular recommendation a lot of people would give you is to apply through France. However, recently I've heard a lot of things about Netherlands and how if you apply through them, you stand a chance of getting like a longer visa. So, and of course, the Schengen visa has to be one of the most annoying visas. It is so easy to get, but it's also so stressful, because they would only give you a very, very short duration. Like typically, like you can get a Schengen visa for just 3 days. Like if you tell them you're visiting for 3 days, they'll give you just 3 days. It's that bad. Unlike the UK, where you could apply for a visa for maybe 7 days and you still get 6 months, or even 7 days and you get up to 2 years, depending, right? But with Schengen, you could apply for 14 days and you're only getting 14 days. As a matter of fact, the recent one I got was for 14 days and I only got 14 days. So that's the thing about it. So now, when you're choosing the country you want to apply through, it's important that you go through the popular ones, like I've said. And for me, I always recommend either France, Germany, maybe Netherlands, Italy, but I think France has to be like one of the most popular ones. But in this video, I would be talking mainly about using Germany or Austria. So now I've applied for 3 Schengen visas in total in the last 9 months, and I applied twice through Germany and once through Poland. I got the ones to Germany, I didn't get the one to Poland. Although the reason why I didn't get the one to Poland was because I told them I wanted to stay there for 6 weeks and they told me it was too long. That's why I didn't get it. But pretty much the process is also very straightforward. As a matter of fact, like I said, it's one of the easiest visas to get. In fact, way easier than the UK visa, because it requires less documentation and not too much talk. And then it's pretty straightforward. So let's get right into it. So once you've decided what country you want to apply through, all you need to first do is go through their application checklist. So like I said, in this video, we'll be using Austria as an example. So I'm just gonna put on Google here, Austria application checklist, Ottawa. So I currently live in Ottawa, Canada. So you just basically put wherever you stay and you can check where or whatever applies in that particular location. So now this is the Austria checklist for Ottawa, Canada. So I'm just gonna zoom it out so that you can see clearly. So it's pretty straightforward. So depending on the type of visa you're going for a visit visa, which is what we're typically talking about, all you need is the Schengen visa C. That's the short stay visa, right? And then of course your purpose is tourism. So what are the things you need? A completed visa application form. pretty much short form, would go into that in a moment. An appointment confirmation letter for submission of documents. Now, depending on the country you're applying to, they might have a way they want you to submit the application. So for Austria, which was the one I applied through last. So now if you want to apply to Germany, in Ottawa, Germany, where Ottawa, Canada, where I stay, you need to apply through the embassy of Austria in Ottawa. So you don't apply directly to Germany. So that's why you see that I'm using Austria as the example, whereas my Schengen is to Germany. All of them are kind of mixed together, so it depends on wherever. So it's kind of like intertwined. They pretty much use the same forms. It's very much the same system. It's just about you adapting the strategy across board. So now, for some, they want you to come to the embassy themselves. So for example, when I did Poland, I had to go to the Polish embassy. But for Austria, you need to use VFS. So for whatever way, you can check on the website and it will tell you what exactly they want you to do. So for this, it was VFS. So you book an appointment with VSA and you come with the appointment letter. Then they want an original and signed passport. That is your passport, data page, everything has to be signed, and of course it should be valid for at least 3 months after your planned departure from the Schengen area. Also, you're going to need a copy of your passport's data page, a copy of your previous Schengen visas and entry or exit stamps. You're going to need a proof of your status in the country where you're staying. So let's say, for example, you're in Nigeria and you're applying from Nigeria. So I'm using Nigeria because that's my country of origin. You don't need to show proof of status because your passport in itself is the proof of status, right? That's your country. Then let's say you live in a foreign land like me, so you probably would just show proof of your stay in Canada. So let's say you're a student, you show your students study permits. Let's say you're a worker, you show your work permits. If you're a permanent resident, you show your permanent resident card. So pretty much you show what makes you legal in the country where you're staying or applying from. Then you need to show your proof of residence in Canada, so basically your driver's license, no big deal on that. Then your proof of travel arrangements. Now this is where you would need your flight tickets and also your hotel booking. So then also you would need like proof of health insurance, but we're going to touch on all of these things, and most importantly your proof of sufficient means of subsistence for the intended journey. So we'll just touch on all of those things one at a time in this video and how you can get the best out of it. So let's go with the first one, which is going to be the completed visa application form. So I'm just going to go down here. So with the completed visa application form, it is important that you fill this out properly. Some of them would allow you fill it out digitally, just like Poland, and some of them want you to fill it out by hand, just like Austria in this case. So basically with this, you fill out your family name, pretty much easy details. Like I said, they are not asking for too much, and I think the crucial part, just like every other visa application, would be this part where they are asking for like your employment. So okay, pretty much your employment. So they ask, what are you going there to do? For me, I always choose tourism, and then you should have a solid purpose of visit in the country you're going to. For me, I love to always use sporting events because they just make my life easier. Like I love sports a lot. I love to watch football. So sporting events are like my go-to. They make it a lot more easier. They are easy to verify and stress-free. So you put in like additional information on why you're going there, and then where exactly do you want to enter through. So for example, I'm going to Germany. I just put in Germany here. Then what type of visa do you want? So you could either choose single entry, 2 entries, multiple entries. To be honest, that shit doesn't matter because I always choose multiple entry. I only get single entry. It's not in your hands. It's just depends on who is giving the visa. Most times you'd always get single entry for the first one. Maybe subsequent ones you could get lucky and maybe get multiple entry, but most times you'd always get single entry for like your first application, and even like subsequent ones depending on your purpose of visit. Then you put in all like the details, the day you're going there. Then of course you fill in the name of the hotel you're going to, what are you bringing there, cash, check. So for me, I always just choose cash here, then credit card because I've got credit card, and then prepaid accommodation because I always pay for my accommodation ahead. So that's just that about that. then you fill in the details, you get it signed, and pretty much that is that about the form. The form is so simple and easy to fill, unlike the UK visa form where you have to fill all of your life history. They really don't care. So you can fill that out, and once that is done and out of the way, now the next thing would be, let's go back to the checklist. The next thing would be the appointment confirmation letter. So this would be totally dependent on the country you're applying through. So if it's for France, if it's for whatever, just find out who exactly do they take the application through. So if it's VFS, if it's directly, just find out and go through the appropriate means for that. Now, for your passport data page, of course, that's also quite straightforward. Your passport data page. Then copy of your previous Schengen visas. If you have, you put it there. If you don't, of course, you don't have to put that there. Then your passport size photo. This is also very, very crucial. You need to go and take a new passport photograph. Pretty chilled. Go to any passport office. You can check the size. I would try to put the size on the screen and then just put in that as well. Then once that is sorted, for the proof of status in Canada, of course, I've mentioned that already. Then you can put that there as well. Then your proof of travel arrangements. That's like a very, very crucial thing. So for me, what I always recommend is your proof of travel arrangement is basically you showing your flight tickets, which is showing the date you're leaving the country, and also your hotel bookings. So for my flight tickets, I always just go on Google and I'll type dummy tickets for Schengen, right? So dummy tickets for Schengen, and once you get there, there are lots of options, right? So I could go for this. So once you choose this, you basically put round trip. So let's say I'm traveling from Ottawa. So this is just a demo, right? So I'll just put Ottawa and I'm going to Paris. So I'm just gonna put that I'm going to Paris, and then I put my departure date, maybe 4th, and then I'm coming back 22nd. Exclude transit through United States, because if you are a resident of Canada and you don't have a US visa, you can't transit through the US. So basically, you have to exclude transiting through the US. But if you're flying from Nigeria, I think that's pretty chilled. For Europe, you'd find maybe direct flights to France. For most countries, you'd always find direct flights to maybe, so I think France is maybe to Netherlands as well with KLM. So Air France, KLM are the very popular ones, but you'd always find flights there. So, and then once you see, you would find the details of the flight, and all you need to do is put in your name, you pay for the reservation. I think it costs just $15, and once you get the reservation, oh yeah, you can see it's just $15. Once you get the reservation, you pretty much print it out. You'll be taking that for your visa appointment. So that's how to get your flight booking. Now, for your accommodation booking, you go on to booking.com. I love to use Booking because, of course, you don't have to pay. And then I will just put, let's say, Paris. So I'm just going to choose, let me log into one of my accounts on Booking so that it makes the process a bit easier, right? So, yeah. So you can see I'm always searching for different trips. So let's say we're going to Paris. So we're going to Paris December 14 to 28. So Paris City Center. So basically you put out the search, and once the search loads up, you want to filter certain things. So what are the things you want to put in your filter? The first thing would be that, 1 second, would be that you could cancel. That's very, very important. So you want free cancellation. So you want to choose that. So, okay. So I think that's the key one. And then I think you also want to choose pay per property, right? So you want to choose also a pay per property. Of course, this is also very, very important that you go for the cheap properties here. The properties that are not so expensive. So I'll just move the budget. So maybe 100 to 200 per night. So with this it becomes a lot more cheaper. I would find cheaper ones. So I don't like to go for apartments. I don't recommend going for apartments. I find them stressful, so I would typically go for an hotel. So let's look for an hotel in Paris. Paris is quite expensive, so you have to do a lot of search. But let's say I'm going for, those are like apartments. So so you just go to look for an hotel, and then once you find the hotel, let me just pick this for the demo. Once you find the hotel, you can reserve the stay. Ensure that it is a place where you don't have to pay until you get to the property. So you're going to find features like that. I'm just going to show you an example of such so that I don't keep it so long. 1 second. Okay, so if I go back to my existing searches, which are like the ones that I've searched for before. So let's look at the one that I searched for in Luxembourg. Yeah, so in Luxembourg, I made this search. So you see, let's say this Ibis Luxembourg Airport Hotel, just an example here. So you will see it says no prepayments needed. Can you see it's no prepayment needed, pay at the property, free cancellation. So you want to ensure that kind of like ticks this box so that way you don't have to be running helter-skelter or like lose money on cancellation. You don't want that for yourself. So once you get the accommodation as well, you print that, you take that for your visa appointment. So once both of that are out of the way, then you go back to the checklist. So let's head back to the checklist, right? So let's head back to the checklist. I'm coming, just trying to okay, yeah, to the checklist. So now the proof of health insurance. This is also very, very crucial. So for me, I always use this insurance called AXA Schengen insurance. So I just put it on Google. I go there. It's pretty cheap. I think it's around 140 or 150 Canadian dollars, depending on where you are. It gets cheaper depending on the region. Things are quite expensive here in Canada. So you would basically fill out the details of the insurance you want to get. So don't waste too much time on it. Just go to get a quote. So once you click on get a quote, it would ask you, when are you traveling? So let's say 5/11 to maybe 29/11. So confirm it, and then it brings 25 days. It brings the price. So you can see 62 euros. Just go for the cheapest one. It's really not a big deal. So go for the cheapest one. It has all the coverage you need, except you feel like you need more coverage, you could go for the more expensive one, but this is enough, the one for the 62 euros. Now, once that is out of the way, back to the checklist, your bank account statement. This is crucial. You want to give them a bank account statement for like 3 months. Ensure that it has a lot of inflow, outflow, like your proper salary is getting paid, your business income is there, you're spending money from there. Nothing crazy. I personally like to present savings accounts for my visa applications because I don't spend any money from there. I just keep the money there in savings, and then I also supplement it with my checking account where I spend money. So I always give them like 2 bank accounts, and it works. So it's not a big deal. Give them one with a lot of money, where like enough money. I'm not saying you should go and pump money that you don't have there, like enough money for your trip, and the other one could even have like zero balance, but it shows inflow and outflow. That's like very, very crucial to them. They want to be sure that you're not just cooking up the money, you have like enough money to always go about your life on a day-to-day basis. So, and then of course you want to show proof of like maybe your pay stub if you are employed. If you're self-employed, for me, I just showed like my tax return for last year. I would also show maybe like what's it called? I would also show maybe like my business registration documents just to make things easier. So you could also put all of that together. Pretty much all the things you need, you would find them in the checklist, and you pay the visa fee. It's not refundable. I think it was $120 and the service fee with VFS. And with that, you've put together a solid Schengen visa application. You go for the interview. They don't ask you anything. Where are you going to? If there's an interview, for most of them, they don't do any interview. You just want to know, when are you traveling, when are you coming back, and you're good to go. You probably get a response in like 2 weeks. They say the processing time is 15 days. The last one I did took just 3 days. So but let's say 15 days. Like, it's pretty easy to get, and all you need to do is ensure that you put the documents together. Don't ask for a very long stay. Trust me, that's one of the reasons why your visa would get disqualified. So if you want to apply for a Schengen visa and stand a chance, keep it within like 2 weeks, maybe maximum 3 weeks. 1 to 3 weeks for your duration of stay, nothing more. Always choose events that are verifiable. So keep your events very, very simple, verifiable, with dates, with location. Makes it easy and very, very easy to track. Avoid visiting friends and families. Make it more around tourism. If you visiting friends or families, to be honest, I feel like it just complicates. So I always love to use tourism for my own booking reason. And with that, we've come to the end of like the Schengen visa application process. Quite easy. All you need to do is ensure that you put all of the documents together the right way, submit, and you get the visa. And once you get the visa, ensure that you enjoy it well. Don't visit just one country because you applied. Like the visa gives you access to over 26 countries. So like you could combine, if you're lucky to get a long stay, you could combine visiting like 2, 3, 4 countries. If you are a traveler like myself, and you would enjoy it. Like it's like getting 5 in 1 in one place. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and of course share this video with your friends that might find it useful as well. And I will see you in the next video. Yeah.